How's it? Hang loose. Welcome to Mango Snacks newspaper. And I spent a little time looking at the debunking of David Icke and the Lizard People conspiracy, and this kind of describes how I feel. First I had to look at the theory, and then the debunking of it. Proboscis, get out of my head. But does it? Compared to Robbie the exorcist possessed boy. Let's find out. I'd like to read you a page or two from the fairly true account. But is it? See, after he got the priest, right, with the bed spring. So, all of a sudden, Lewis comes up on his chest. It was as if the scratches were emerging from him, as if something were clawing at him from the inside. The glistening scratches formed the word Saturday. Lewis, then Saturday. Philip Manahim, the mom, was too stunned to sense that Robbie's body was acting like an Ouija board. She asked, "How long?" And he screamed and grimaced again, and she realized to her horror that her question would cause him pain, forcing him froth another answer in blood, meaning they would stay there 3.5 weeks. Stop asking questions of the human Ouija board. She later said that she felt compelled to obey the message. Reasons would say she should have resisted, since the awful bleeding messages had seemingly been produced by the force that was causing Robbie's torment. But earthly logic had long since departed from this family. I can relate. Robbie's body had given them signs, and they would follow those signs. On Saturday, March 5th, Robbie, Phyllis, Carl, the parents, went to Union Station in Washington, where they boarded an overnight train for St. Louis. Watching the scenery roll by, that opportunity to look back at the past 7 turbulent weeks. Aunt Harriet had been alive when it all began, on January 15th, when the scratching started in the walls. When she died on January 26th, there seemed to have been a change. It was almost as if something were growing and getting closer to Robbie. Now it was inside him. Robbie's mother could not describe what she felt. The presence, the stalking. She had not written anything about what had happened. She had no way to compare one day to the next. But there was no doubt things were changing. The scratchings on the wall in January now appeared to be on her son's body. Had she been imagining all this? Phyllis began counting how many people she knew who had seen what she and Carl had seen. Relatives, friends, ministers, priests, and sons and nurses, and the teachers and the kids at school, the neighbors, the friendly neighbors who had offered to help. They had heard the rumors, and they had hinted that they believed Robbie had been playing tricks. They would take him to their house for the night, and you'd see, what had been happening in your house won't happen in ours, because he's just a trickster. Pale and stammering, they had returned early the next morning. Objects had flown, furniture had moved in the house, and they had seen it happen. Phyllis completed her count with them. 14. There were now 14 people who had witnessed events which were now no earthly explanation. And as for from Australia, it's farting. Farting. And if you want to say 18, just say A. 18 and farting. Okay, thank you. What was going on in Robbie's mind? Where had she gotten the strength, the cunning to slip his small hand to the bed spring and work loose a crude weapon? With his feeling raged, he had slashed Father Hughes. What was driving this frail boy, and where had he been driven? Deep in our folklore is an old phrase that we utter not realizing what we say. What on earth possessed him to do that? Possession, the idea that some force could invade the soul and overpower it. We had buried the primitive fright under layers of logic and science. In our world, in Philip Minahan's world, possession is not the stuff of nightmares. But in other cultures, possession is an everyday reality. Like over here. A belief shared by everyone in the community. Not so much. They were parents who were living in a world where too sophisticated for possession saw across the chasm a son writhing in a strange world where possession existed. How to reach him, how to save him became their quest. It was a quest without guides, but not without lore. To bring Robbie back, they would have to venture into domains of superstition and supernatural. They would be going where few had gone in modern times. St. Louis, Missouri? Okay, stop there. So, that's the ongoing tale of... That was in the 40s, 49, something like that. Anyways, welcome to Newspaper. Let's go into the other stuff. The other horror. It's September 7th. Yep. We need federal help. We always need federal help. Give some thumbnail for that sucker. They're always asking for federal help. But one of our senators asked the Veteran Affairs on Molokai because they're getting, not Molokai, Big Island, Hilo, because they're getting cases over there. Case total 164. Count from yesterday for today. 164. Hotel quarantine to cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands per month. They basically got into a thing where the state rented out hotels. That's what they did. Where people have to quarantine. A little more on that. U.S. roads turned fast and furious. I noticed this right in the beginning of this lockdown, the very first time, when everything was just freaking locked down. Bam. The roads were empty, and it was only essential. So I had to do something essential. Can't remember what it was. It was that. It's like go to the store, get something, medicine or something. It was essential. But I'm on the road, and it was like Hawaii in the old days. Not that much traffic, not that much cars. Like, hey man, you just drive down the road. It's like, man, lucky you live Hawaii. It's like nice. And that's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. It's like the roads are like it was 20, 30 years ago. Just like no worries. Because now it's like so many cars. And then right after that, speed demons. I mean, people who just love to race. So you walk on the road, it's like, hey, there's not that many cars. It's tailgaters blinking the lights, hey, get out of my way. Because it's like an open road and they go real fast. They become reckless. And that's also, I noticed that. Then the police were giving tickets left and right. The protesters about police reform, blah blah, the big thing about that. This is pretty funny. I was in Texas for a while. Yep, Texas. Lake, what was it? Friggin' Lake something? Shoot, one of the little, there's like hundreds of little lakes over there. North of Dallas. Lake Travis. In Lakeway Travis. Lake Travis, hundreds and hundreds of boats out there. Yeah, Trump, waving flags of so many boats. 5 of them sank. With that many boats, they would have been, if it wasn't for Trump, they would have been out drinking. And boats would have sank anyways. Typhoon hits, peace breakup, protest of election came. I'm going to go too far into the protest thing. Yes, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. I'm just saying. That's like big controversy. I don't want to get too controversy. Trump defends lead against Trump's onslaught. In a world of chaos and destruction, who's it going to be? The one under whose watch it happened? Or the one who says we need a new change? Or the one who says If you change, that will be the chaos that happened. What? Okay, enough now. Stupid. I find your chaotic campaigning methods confusing. The Denver Sept Community Garden is a refuge for others to sit back in the early morning. Keep going on and this is funny. College campuses are the sewage tipped off some outbreaks. So college campus, right? Like half of them live off campus. They're gonna have house parties, I know, and they're gonna have, not everyone's gonna get tested. Some are gonna, there's gonna be half, just like general population. But here's this guy. Days after he crossed the county to start college, Ryan received a text message from Utah State University. COVID-19 had been detected at his dorm. Within 10 minutes, he dropped his crepes. Dropped the crepes he was making and whisked away by bus to a testing site. Dropped the crepes. We didn't even know they were testing. That's why he dropped the crepes and got on the bus and going to the testing station? We didn't know they were testing. It all happened so fast anyways. But basically, they're discovering it in poop in the sewer system. That's right, I said poop. Poop. Oh, God. Welcome to 3rd grade. Poop. Anyways, it's not accurate, they say, but you can tell. An outbreak. It's like the 1,000 testing vials that were botched. I have that paper somewhere. Doesn't matter. Yes. We had archives. The 1,000 tests is botched. Thank you. They're all so pissed about that. But I tell you what, the vials without labels, if you test 1,000 vials, you can tell if some had it and some don't, and you got a general idea of outbreak or amount of out there. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find out where it's from, where it's going boo-boo. Where it's going boo-boo. This is kind of fun. What else did I think I missed it? Registers, hotels, all those hotels. Yeah, it was funny, but I don't know where it is now. It's not funny anymore, I say. The people in hotels have a god-awful amount of money that the state's sending out to rent out the hotels, buy a whole hotel rented out per month. And there's all these rules. You can have dogs and guns and fireworks and this and that. And it's like you just got to be locked in the hole. 30 days in the hole. It's not open to visitors. It's not open to people. It's not open to druggies and homeless. It's no. Who goes in there now? I don't even know. Just eliminated everybody. Marshall in case the real estate crashes, the hotel quarantine comes with. Oh, here it is, right here. It's just okay. Oh, the rooms also meant those who cannot quarantine safely at home. Also ineligible. Homeless individuals, unoccupied minors, those who controlled in the substance abuse programs, those who cannot manage their own medical care, those who unable to independently feed, dress, and bathe themselves, like me. Guests might be able to walk up 2 flights of stairs without assistance, rely on continuous positive airway pressure device, or to stay comes with some also, there's also rules that are, you have to stay in the hotel room the entire period. They also monitor their health, respond immediately to daily monitoring calls, identify themselves as someone when someone has COVID. It's exposed if they call it 911 emergency. DOH said visitors, weapons, drugs, pets, smoking are not allowed during the hotel stay. And there will be no in-room hotel service. Well, that just cuts it right there. No room service. What the hell's the problem? Well, that with no room service. The Sunday big question. Polarities, whatever this is, pi graph. We're coming to the singularity point. What do you think about Oahu's 2-week stay-at-home, work-from-home lockdown, which we're in right now? It might end Wednesday. Don't count on it. In effect through Wednesday. 43% let it end, then reinforce mask and distancing hygiene. 43%. 33% extend 2 weeks. It works, but it needs more time. I'm there. 1/3. Extend 2 weeks, but modify to reopen parks. No. It'll be half measures. Okay, well, that's that. Now we know where you stand. And the Big Island is getting their geothermal plant. Harness the volcano, which is different from the other one that couldn't get their act together. And this is geothermal. Okay. Now, for news and voices. Do we have anything to do in here? I don't know. Shall we do this? Bad cops, flavored tobacco. Dystopian America. When can we unite and replace the divider? The H3 freeway test. Don't believe advocates for herd immunity. The next time you hear someone advocate for herd immunity in dealing with COVID-19, call this policy for what it really is. Thinning the herd. Truly. That's what it would be. Oh boy, here we go. And we have this thing. Ouiji administration has failed in the virus response. Across the nation, around the world. Across the nation and around the world, you're hearing a rockin' new beat. Governments have struggled to respond to COVID-19, but David Ige's administration has demonstrated particular incompetence, indifference, and failure. The advantage of Hawaii's geographic location was squandered. So true. So true. The economy is so true. There was no direct flights from Wuhan, China. We're all safe. It was squandered. It's so true. We thought we were safe because we're on islands, like we could all make this happen. But, unbeknownst to us, there was a cruise ship going between the islands, letting off passengers, letting it back on, letting them off, letting it back on, and each of the islands goes over to Mexico and California, and it's all tested. Whole ship's like lockdown, positive. They were set up from the get-go because of the tourist industry. We were doomed from the start because of tourism. Anyways, that's all I have for dinner. So hang loose. Woo-hoo. I'm going to do this without a time warp. Hang loose. Shaka. Hang loose. Aloha.